Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And this is my September Paper Pumpkin Alternative video. This cute little box comes with your Paper Pumpkin stuff in it this time. And obviously it's dressed for Halloween. Now I've already opened mine, but I want to share with you what's in here. There is a promotional piece here on the new tool through Stampin' Up! And it is wonderful. I'm using mine quite a bit these days, and I'm finding it very easy to work with, and I just love it. Anyway, so there's that. Then this is the kit this time, and it's to make these cute little treats. And there's all different kinds of pumpkins and bats and little ghosts and all kinds of tags here to make up the treat box. And so I'm not going to spend any time showing you on as they suggest that you put it together. Always mine is for alternative full-size cards, and that's what I'll be doing today. This has enough supplies to make 24 cellophane treat bags. And what I'm going to show you today is going to allow you to use minimal amounts of the material here and still be able to make up quite a few of the treat bags. Let me show you what's in the kit. So in the kit, let me move this off to the side. There is this stamp set. Let me grab something so we can see behind it. It says Spooky, Frights and Delights, It's Halloween, To and From, Treats for You, Boo, and Eek. Then there's a pumpkin, a bat, a couple of different sized stars, a larger one and a smaller one. The same thing with the bats. There's a larger bat and a smaller bat. And then there's some spiders, again a larger and a smaller, and then a moon. And I don't know if I said the pumpkin. But that's the stamp set. Cute little stamp set. In here. And what else is in here are, I'll just bring out the pieces, of course, your dimensionals and your glue dots. And then there is a sheet full of pumpkins. And what goes with the sheet full of pumpkins are these pieces, so that these punch out behind here and give you a pumpkin face with a silvery background. Very cute. And the same thing with the ghosts. There's a page of ghosts, and these little circles here punch out and make the little eyes behind the ghost there. So that's what those pieces are. So there's a sheet of enough for all of the ghosts and all of the pumpkins. So there's those pieces there. And the ghosts, let me grab my ghosts again here so we have them out. Then there's a sheet of these stickers that say Spooky. And I thought this was interesting because you can certainly peel off the stickers, but you could also, I think, fussy cut around the outside and then just keep the little pieces and use the negative space as another spooky, so you really could have twice as many. And I think you can do the same thing with the Eek stickers. If you fussy cut around the Eek and save the little pieces for the E's, you could get 2 sets of stickers for that. Then we have Boo in silver with an exclamation point. Then we have these tags, and there's a couple of sheets of each kind of tag. There's this grape, this is the grape color, and right now I'm not remembering what it is. It is Gorgeous Grape. Gorgeous Grape and white tags. These would be to go on top of your treat bags. I'm using them a little differently. Then we have a page of bats. And then we have these kinds of stickers that have the mango color. I can't right now remember what it is, but you'll know. and I'll put it up on the screen, and then this kind of sticker as well. So there's 3 different kinds of stickers. Then there is a basic gray Stampin' Ink spot. There is this pretty black and silver baker's twine this time. And then there are the treat bags. And there are striped orange treat bags that you can put stuff in with stripes. And then the other treat bag has little spiders on it. And they're just as cute as they can be. So that is what is in the kit. Oh, and then these bases here, there's 24 of these little bases, which, from what I understand, allows you to open up one of these treat bags and then put one of these bases in the bottom. Okay, so it sets up like this, so that you have a flat bottom treat bag. Then you put your treats inside and you capture it and you put one of these things over the top and so on. Anyway, that's the idea. All right, so that's what's in the kit. Now I'm going to show you the cards that I made instead. And as you can see, there's a lot of material left. I didn't use very much to make up the cards. So I'm going to show you very quickly all 3 cards, and then we'll go through them and make them. So this is the first card, and I'm just going to bring this up close to the camera so you can see it. Do you see this crinkle here? This is the tissue paper that's in the box, and I'll show you what I did to create this little piece down here on the bottom. And this one says a simple boo, and I'll put the material down here. And in the inside I put purple. I did this on a black base, and I did use a little bit of this, you don't have to, but I used a little bit of this glittered organdy ribbon that was with some of the other Halloween stuff in the catalog. And on the inside, I just stamped It's Halloween here, and then put my eek on this side just to add a little something different to the inside of the card. So that's the first card that we're going to be making, and I think we'll probably start with this one. The second card is this, where I use a little bit more of this paper put down on the outside of this card. I used a purple base on this one, and then just put a pumpkin on the inside of this one. So that's the second card. And let's see, let me put that with this and get that out of the way. And then this is the third card, where I took apart one of the treat bags and put it on the front of the card here to make a background. And then on the inside of the card, I just stamped some bats. And that's on that mango color. Okay, the mango is Mango Melody. I finally remembered. Okay, so let's start with this card first. And what I have done with this, I'm using Memento Black ink, and I'm using some of the Gorgeous Grape ink. And let's go back to the stamp set here. What I'm using from the stamp set is I'm using Frights and Delights, It's Halloween, one of the bats, one of the spiders, the boo, and I think that's it. I didn't use any of the others, and you could certainly, in the case where I have used the sticker, use the stamp to get the same effect and save your stickers for the treat bags. Okay, so what we have here is we have a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4, and then I have 2 pieces of the Gorgeous Grape in 5 1/4 by 4. And what we're going to do on this one is, I'll show you what I did with the paper. I cut some of the tissue paper, and I cut very roughly some sheets that are 6 by 6, and I wanted to show you what they looked like to start with. And all I'm going to do is crumple this up really good here and then uncrumple. And you might have with this 6x6 paper certainly enough to do the front of this card and the strip going down the other card, but you might have enough to do two fronts depending on how high up you made your piece go. So once I start uncrumpling, you be careful because I don't want to tear it, I'm going to completely uncrumple it, and then I'm going to use some snail to help me put this down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is set this on my grid paper, which will help me get this straight. And you can see that I put this on this piece to right about here. Let me get a measurement on that for you. It looks to be a little over right at 2 1/4. Let's say 2 1/4. So I'm going to move my grid paper. I think if I put it here, you can still see it. And I'm going to use my grid paper to help me think my way across here. 2 1/4 is this line here. So I'm going to just put a little X on my grid paper here so I know where I'm headed to. So what I'm going to do is put some snail on this at 2 1/4 and try to come across to 2 1/4 on this side, so that I get my my glue down right where I want it. And I'm going to just put my tape runner here in rows all along the bottom of this piece of paper. So now then, back to my piece here. What I'm going to do is put one end right along the top of my snail here and just a tiny bit over the edge. So like that, and then I'm just going to smooth this down over the bottom of my card. And it'll stick right to your card, and you can see the outline of the card as it goes here, here, and along here. And I did leave the straight edge of the piece of paper towards the bottom because I want a straight piece for the other card I'm doing. And what I'm going to do is turn this around this way, and I am going to just put a little bit of snail down right along the edge here on either side, and then also across the bottom here. And I'm going to fold that paper over so that it sticks. And I'm going to do a little surgery on this side here to get this so that all I have is an edge to pull over the side here. And then I'm going to cut about that same amount of edge along the bottom of my card. And see, I think you have plenty to do a second card if you wanted to with just that amount of the paper. Then I'm going to fold this up onto the tape runner here so that I am nice and covered. Now then, this top piece is a little bit uneven, but that's fine. That's why I used, and you could use plain black ribbon to accomplish the same thing. I was trying to get this to come across the top to sort of hide any rough edges on there. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm going to add some snail right along the edge here. Then I'm going to grab my silicone mat here and put a little bit of tape runner on the back of my piece of ribbon, and then set this up to go right across here. I'm going to fold this down a little bit and catch this right along the edge there, like that. And then wrap these pieces around the back. Then what I did was I took a little bit of this pretty twine and I cut, I think, about 12 inches of this. Yep, right around 12 inches. And I'm going to fold it in half here and stretch it across the front of my card, just right up here. You could put it on the first one, I put it on top of the ribbon, but then you kind of lose it just because you don't see it. So I thought I'd put it right along the top edge of the purple and turn that over and also catch that on the tape on the back side. And then draw these two pieces across here and catch them on the back side in the tape on that. And there we've got some pretty decoration on the front of the card. Now then, on the card itself, the rest of it is just the simplest thing in the world, a little bit of stamping. So at this point we can add this piece. Oh, we can go ahead and do our stamping. So what I have mounted here is It's Halloween, and I did that in the Memento Black, and I used a boo sticker. So I'm going to grab a boo sticker here and get it placed on my card, and I put it right kind of up in this corner. And then I did my It's Halloween stamp here, and I put just kind of randomly around the front of the card here. And there's a lot of little stamps to put on this, so you don't have to do too many. And I see a couple places where it didn't quite cover. So I'm going to use my black marker to fill in where here it should be It's Halloween. And there we go. So then I took my spider and I did the spider in black, and I put the spider just randomly here around the card. And then I took the little bat and I did the bat in grape so that it would be sort of tone on tone. And so I'm going to put a little bat here in a couple of places around the front of the card. And there we go. That's already probably plenty. All right, so let me close up my ink for the moment. Never good things don't happen when your ink is open. So now I'm going to take this piece and put some tape on the back and go ahead and put it in place on my card. And so you can see, while it looks a little on the complex side, it's really very simple. And so here we go. So there we go. That's the front of that card done. And then on the inside, what I did was I glued this piece into place. On the inside of the card, like that. And I took my It's Halloween and my black ink, and I found that if I spaced it right, I could fit It's Halloween 3 times across the top and 3 times across, I think you can see that, the bottom. And then I took You could do either spooky or eek. Since I did eek the last time, I'll do spooky with this one. And I put spooky over on this flap, and there we go. There is card number 1, just as easy as it can be to do. All right, let's move on to card number 2. What I did to do this, let me put this one up here as well. So on this one, what I did was I used, again, a black card base right here, and I took one of the treat bags that is the little treat bag with the spiders on it, and I put this on my trimmer, or you could use your scissors, and I just trimmed off the edge of the bag. So now it opens. Okay. And then I used my fingernail to go along the edge here to sort of undo some of the fold on some of these pieces so that they weren't quite so sharp. Then I picked one edge, and I'll just do it with my scissors. This actually works on your trimmer as well, to just pick the edge that I wanted, and I opened it up. Then I put it back on my trimmer, folded it back up into lots of pieces, and I measured at 4 inches, and I sliced this piece off. So the piece that I am left with for my card is 4 inches by 1 whole bag size. So what I have is the Mango Melody piece here, and I know that I'm going to put a bat here, so I can take glue dots here, and I know, for instance, that I'm going to end up putting a bat right across here. So I can lay down a glue dot there and a glue dot right up in here without any difficulty. And I also know that I'm going to put my banner here that I made to look like a headstone right down here in the center, so I can add a couple of glue dots down here in the center on my piece of Mango Melody. Then I'm going to run some tape along the bottom of the back of my card at the top and the bottom. Get lots of tape on there. Then I'm going to take my little bag, and I am going to lay one end of this on the back side of my card here, get it put into place. Then I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to stretch this as hard as I can without bending my card, and let those little 2 pieces of glue dots and these other glue dots down here at the bottom help me secure that, and then pull this up from the back side and glue that down. Now I've gone off a little bit on one side, so I'm just going to trim that off. So there we have our card front with our little decorations on the back. So now we can take our pieces. Here we have our bat that's going to go right up in here to cover those glue dots, and I think I will put the bat up on some dimensionals. There, I've got him in place. Then I think, since I used spooky on the first one, I will put another message, the eek, on this one right across the center. Then I'm going to take this to make my little headstone, and this has got a score mark on it, and what I'm going to do is cut it just above the score mark so that it fits right here on the bottom. And I'm going to, at this point, before I put that in place, because I've got my string running back and forth here, I'm going to take my twine and I'm going to just put down a little spot of glue here on the back to just start this here, and I'm going to draw it back and forth across the card. Now I can add my RIP here on dimensionals, and before I do that, I did just use my marker to draw a line across the top here and to put RIP on my headstone. And then in the purple, in the Gorgeous Grape, is what I did my stamping. So I put my Frights and Delights up here on the top, and I put my It's Halloween down here and the bottom, and I did intentionally have one going a little bit, this one they looked too straight to me, it looked too easy, so I moved them around a little bit on this. So then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my headstone here. So this is going to go into place on here, and there I've got my headstone. Now this is all ready with a little bit of tape runner here to put on the back of my black card base. Right there. And there we have the front of our card completed and on the card base. And then on the inside, I just put some tape runner on another piece of Mango Melody, and the two pieces of the Mango Melody are cut at 5 1/4 by 4 and put into place. And on this one, I thought I would take the edge of my scissors and just go along the top here on the outside of the front of this card and kind of rough it up a little bit. And I'm going to continue to distress the edges of this. I think that adds a little bit. So there I've got my edges distressed on that. Now on the inside on this piece, all I did was take my little bat and my black ink and put 3 little bats up here in the corner, and then did the same thing with this corner. 3 little bats. And there we go. That is card number 2. My last card is this one. And what I have here is a Gorgeous Grape card base, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4, and 2 pieces of pumpkin pie that are cut 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and on this piece, what I did was I took a piece that was left of the crumpled paper here and stretched it out as much as I could, and then I put some tape down this side here, top to bottom, 2 rows of tape side by side here, and I cut my paper so that I kind of got it trimmed so that it was reasonably straight on the one end, and doesn't have to be perfect, and then come around on the other side and see if I could get a piece also that was fairly straight. Then I put my my piece of card here and put some tape at the top and the bottom. On that same side, I have the tape on the front, and then I put my piece of crumpled paper so that it's sticking over the edge by just a tiny bit. Put it into place on my card, and you can see it's not straight. That's okay, because I think you can just manipulate it around until you get, I suppose what you could do is cut this piece separately and then crumple it and then uncrumple it so that you get straight pieces. It didn't matter that much to me because I didn't care if it was straight or not, because the whole idea was for it to be a little bit off. So there we go. I've got my piece there. Then I did the same thing with the twine, in that I took a length of twine, and I think this one is again 12 or 13 inches, and just enough to go over and wrap around the back of this card. And again, I put down some more snail here, and in fact, on this one, I think I will grab a glue dot. Let me grab a glue dot and anchor this thread down here. And that will stay perfectly now. Now, that piece is ready to go on here, because we can do our stamping right on top of this. Since these are photopolymer, a little bit more cushioning isn't going to hurt anything. So there we go. Now then, I did take my stamp that said Boo here and put it up in the corner here. So it didn't stamp perfectly, so I'm going to grab my grape marker and just fill that in a little bit here. You can do this stamping on your Stamparatus ahead of time just to make sure that it comes out right, but that looks to be good to me. Okay, so there I've got my Boo. Now I'm going to bring back in my black ink. I'm going to first cut my little tag, and my scissors are just so big, and flag the bottom of my tag here. There we go. And do my It's Halloween in grape across the top portion here, and then use my bats in black at the top and the bottom here, and my spiders, and I think I'm going to do my spiders in grape this time. Put my spiders in grape there, and then this piece I put up on dimensionals as well. Put that on my card base here. Then I have my pumpkin, which I'm going to add some glue around the edges here so that I can stick on my silver piece behind it. And I have the same thing to do with my ghost and my silver circle. So here's my silver circle, so I'm going to put some glue on the ghost top and bottom, and then stick my silver piece on there. Then, let's see, I need a bat, and I'm going to put the bat and the ghost up on dimensionals. Now those are ready to go. Okay, so now I'm ready to do a little bit more stamping on the front here. I can put my bat into place here underneath my boo there, and then I have my stamps of my spider, and I'm going to do all of the rest of the stamping on this in black. So I've got spiders to put randomly here on my card, and then I've got bats to do the same thing. And you can do touch up on any of them with your black marker if they don't stamp completely. Here's a perfect example. I've kind of lost the tip of his wing there, and that one could be filled in a little bit. And so that's the front of the card, with the exception of my little ghost, which we need to put down here. And you can see the ghosts can go either way. I have that one going that way. This one's going to come down here and go this way. But that's just fine. And then on the inside of the card, I have my piece of pumpkin pie that I'm just going to set down into place. Okay, and the last thing we need to do is to put this gorgeous grape piece on the bottom here. And I left a little bit of the orange peeking through on the bottom here. And then I have my pumpkin to go on the inside. And there we go. That is, and I don't think I did any other, oh, I did do a boo at the bottom. So I need my black ink and my stamp that says boo here, inked up really good, because I don't have my Pierce mat here. But to put the boo in there. Okay, now we're done. All right. So what we have then is we have 2 of these cards here that have the boo and the paper along the edge here. Then we have, let's see here, then we have the card that has the gorgeous grape on the outside and the crumpled paper down below. And that is one of the cards. And then we have this one with the spider background and the RIP sign here and some bats on the inside. And so those are my full-size Paper Pumpkin alternatives for the month. So here we have my extra paper pumpkin, and so if you comment below, I will pick a winner. Let's see, today is Friday. I'll pick someone by tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, to win this extra paper pumpkin kit. And all you need to do is put a comment below. It would be wonderful if you shared the video. And I will pick a winner to get this extra paper pumpkin kit this month. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. I do so appreciate it. And if you want to become a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I understand that there are refill kits and there may be even full kits of this left. We got something this morning that said that the refills were there and available, so they actually had some. And so you can get this kit, but you can also get it free by commenting on my site here, and you can become a Paper Pumpkin subscriber for it's $19.95 a month, no shipping, and it's just a wonderful surprise. So many beautiful little projects that you can do. And I tried to do as many things as I could here. I used a couple of card bases beyond the, and a couple of pieces of cardstock beyond what was in the kit. But I used, boy, even the tissue paper on this one, all pieces of the kit. So again, you can join Paper Pumpkin by going to my site, www.albettinger.stampinup.net. And if you don't already have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. Starting at the 1st of October, because it's just rolling after the quarter end, you can join Stampin' Up! Then, and your first full quarter isn't done until the end of March. So your first $300 for the quarter, you'll have basically 6 months to get that done. In any case, if you'd like to talk about that, give me a call. My information is always listed below the video. Thanks again for stopping by. The prize draw for the month of September is the Dashing Deer Bundle. So we're just a week away from finding a winner for that. And all you have to do to win that one is make an order on my website. Again, thanks for stopping by. I'll be back soon with more cards and more projects. Bye.